I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't.
Man, y'all know what time it is. You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole, and it's Commanders Friday. Welcome to our Commanders versus Kansas City Chiefs preview show. You can check us out at www.urbansportscene.com. That's our official website. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you're subscribed to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. If you're in the YouTube chat, we accept super chats. Super chats help us support our show. Each super chat will be prioritized over all comments in the chat. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and also like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, my man Will teach to say this when he was on the show, but I'm gonna say it for him. Let's get into our tradition. The pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Host of the Sports for the Culture, presented by Gas Sports Network, Bryce and Rome will join me to preview the Commanders' Monday night matchup against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, let me introduce the homies in right now. We got Rome here, so let me introduce Rome right now. We got Rome in the game. What's going on, Rome?
What up, man?
What is good? Glad to have you back on the show, man. You know, you might. Oh, Bryce is here too. You know what? Let me not waste it. The whole mob is here. It's beautiful when the whole mob is here. So hold on. Let me do it right. We got my man Rome and what's going on? Now we're good. Now we're all good.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, fam? What's going on? First of all, what's going on with y'all, man?
Not too much, man. Not too much. I know we got a lot to talk about, Wole. It's been a minute since we chopped it up, man.
Yeah. And
so much has happened in that short amount of time.
Yeah, I know, right? A lot, dog. Like a lot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Ron? So let me so you can say your stuff. I cut you off. So what's going on?
Hey, like Bryce said, man, a lot has happened since the last time we chopped it up, and this is one of my favorite shows to be a guest on, man, because you always keep it real over here. Yeah, I'm ready to get into it. This Chiefs matchup. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to get into it, man.
You know, a lot of people, this is a doomful game for a lot of people, bro. You know, we're going to talk about it, though. We're going to talk about it, though. A lot of folks ain't, obviously because, JD5, the savior, man, like, the guy that helped did magical things for us last year, getting us to the NFC Championship game. It's sidelined with a hamstring injury, and Marcus Mariota is going to be stepping in for his third start. How should Washington's offensive game plan change, and how much of a factor is Mariota being a veteran in this matchup? How much does that factor in? I'm gonna start with you, Ron.
I mean, like I think Mariota. It's tough. I'm torn because you asked me about Mariota, right? And I think Mariota, and I don't want this statement to sound too crazy, but I think Mariota is capable of winning this game. Right, like I think with Terry and Deebo back, Mariota being a veteran, the offense isn't necessarily the problem.
Agreed.
Yeah, I know we lost in the Falcons game, but I think we got Cosme back, we got Terry back. Like the offense is going to be clicking, and I think you can run a lot of the same stuff with Mariota that you would with Jayden. He's just not as talented as Jayden, obviously. I think the real problem lies on defense. I don't necessarily fear the Chiefs' defense too much. Not if the Commanders have all their weapons back, which it looks like they will. But yeah, it's our defense stopping the current GOAT in Pat Mahomes that gives me a lot of fear.
Hey, Bryce, your thoughts, bro? Like, what is it about? How much confidence do you have with Mariota at the helm?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't have a ton of confidence. Right. And it's nothing against Mariota personally. I think he's a hell of a teammate, and I think he's been a hell of a mentor to Jayden thus far. but as a player, I don't really trust it all that much. Like we talk a lot about, at least me and Rome have discussed over the past couple of weeks, like the slow starts on offense, right?
Facts, yeah.
I mean, let's not forget the offensive slow starts. Really kind of started in that Atlanta game, right? I mean, that was like, and that was Mariota at the helm, right? Where we just got off to a slow start, could never find the rhythm, and that's kind of persisted throughout the rest of the season so far. And that's my biggest concern, right? If Jayden gets off to a slow start, we've got the faith that he's got the firepower to get us back on track.
Yeah.
Mariota gets off to a slow start, we're in big trouble with the defense we got. So, yeah, I don't have a ton of confidence in Mariota. Unlike Rome, I don't think he has enough to win this game. I think Terry and Deebo coming back is going to be helpful. But I don't see him distributing the ball to that level to where we're looking at, anywhere near 100 yards for both at the same time, right?
Do you think we could get to 30 points with Marcus?
No, not against the Chiefs. I don't see that. I think like the Atlanta game is a perfect example, right? Where do we finish? Like right in that 27 range, maybe. Yeah. Maybe we can get to that 27 range, right? But getting over 30, and I think it's going to take 30 to beat the Chiefs. And then my other concern with Marcus Mariota is like, look how.
That's how I sounded about. It's funny because I changed my mind, but I'll let you finish because I was just like you, Bryce, when it came to Mariota. Go ahead.
All right, let's take the Dallas game for example, right? Yeah. Mariota, and this is why you gotta love Mariota, but it's like a love-hate thing, right? Mariota kind of the type that likes to play a little hero ball, right? Yeah. Think about that pick he threw in Dallas. Scrambling around for his life, trying to make something happen, doing a little too much, ends up being a pick six. That happens against the Chiefs, bro. We in trouble. They're running the scoreboard up on us, bro, just like Dallas did. So, I think with Marcus Mariota, this is going to tell me a lot about Cliff Kingsbury. Can he minimize the game plan, keep it simple, try to rely on the run, slow the clock down, let that clock run, bro. Time of possession will be key in this game. I don't think we're going to see an explosive offense out of the Commanders going against the Chiefs.
I mean, I feel to your point. Well, I'll say this one. So it's funny. You are like me last year with Mariota. Like when we signed him, that was totally me, thoroughly. Like I was like, this dude trash. I'm gonna be real. I was like, this dude trash. Why we keep Brissett? Like I was like, Jayden better beat this dude out. I don't want to hear nothing about this dude's competing with Jayden. And then that's how bad I thought he was like the worst vet to pick up. Right? I won't even lie. That was my thought process on Marcus Mariota. So, but he has made me a believer because every game he's been, a starter or relief duty. He's moved the football with this team. Like they moved the football against the Raiders. They moved the football. Against Atlanta, they moved the football. Yeah, you're right. So every once in a while, he tries to have hero tendencies and he'll mess up. Even the Raiders game when he ran that long run and he fumbled making that extra play. So he does have that in his arsenal, right? To your point, but he does move the football. And his offense has scored the most points with Mariota at the helm, which. I'm not saying that's anything because that was healthy. That was a healthy mob having Terry, having Deebo, which I feel like for Jayden it's been unfair because he hasn't had those dudes on the field with him. Both of those dudes, right? It's been incomplete, right? So now Mariota with Terry, looks like Terry's coming back, and we'll talk about that too. Deebo looking like they both will be back. I think it gives them an opportunity to compete against the Chiefs. But I'll say to your point, Bryce, but this is true, to be honest with you. This is the formula for this team, period. Even with Jayden, is to win the time of possession game. That is the point where like we were good last year, and this is why the defense wasn't like the defense was still bad last year, but It wasn't as bad because we kept them off the field. You know what I mean? Like Jayden kept them off the field. We won the time of possession game, which made our defense better. You know what I mean? That's should be the formula, period. Everybody thinks because you have a quarterback like Jayden is a dynamic quarterback, a dynamic player. But the way this team won last year, which is different from this year, last year, their whole goal was they ran the ball a lot, you know what I mean, with Jayden and the other running backs. This season has been a little bit of sometimes you question, like you're not running the ball enough. That's been the question mark. So to me, like the way like I'll have faith. And this is one thing I'll say about why I have faith in Mariota. Cliff, when Mariota is out there, Cliff typically leans on the run game. When Jayden's out there, it's like you don't even know what's going to happen. It's like, we don't go to like what got us to the table, what got us to the dance last year, what got us to the NFC Championship game. was Jayden's arm. But again, we were winning the time of possession. We were getting it third and manageable. Like it was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. And if we had to go for 4th down, 4th and 3. Nowadays it's 3rd and long. We don't operate right in 3rd and long. That's just not our thing. But with that game plan of running the football, running it on any down and keeping people off balance, I feel like Cliff is going to do that more in Mariota because to your point, Bryce and Rome, I mean, Jayden's more talented and Mariota isn't. So you're going to run the football.
No, that's facts, bro. Jayden is the superior talent, but there is one thing I got to give Mariota credit for, and he is better than Jayden at one single thing.
Seeing the field.
No, I wouldn't say that. that's a little shot right there.
I was about to say no, because I'd be like, because he be looking, look, he be finding. Look, a reason I say that it's not a shot because I feel like when you're as good as Jayden, you can trust your legs. When you're a vet, you just seem like you're a vet, so you see no more coverages. You know what I'm saying? You can see the field and still not be good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Marcus got to see the field.
Yeah, I was about to say
Marcus got to see the field. Exactly. Thank you. He got it.
I wasn't gonna go that far, but the one thing I've noticed from Marcus that I do think he's not just better than Jayden at, but a lot better than Jayden at, is that zone read and that zone keep. Yeah. And if he can exploit that, that's the part of his game that I would say like we really got to lean on. To your point, the big run against the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen Jayden bust a 40, 50-yard run. I mean, I think maybe he had like a 30 last year, but we haven't seen no crazy long runs from Jayden.
I got thoughts about that too.
And
y'all think he's healthy?
I'd like to see Marcus exploit this game.
Y'all think
that's one thing I wanted to get into was the run game. And Wole, you brought it up because Cliff definitely leans on the run game more when Mariota's in the game. And it's to Bryce's point because Mariota can execute that zone read to perfection. Really, he can execute it. One of the best in the leagues ever to do it. He was real good at it in college too. So that's literally his bag. So I expect to see a lot of that. People get concerned when Jayden runs it. Nobody seems to be concerned when Marcus Mariota runs it. And I definitely think there'll be some called runs for Mariota in this game. And as long as he can hold on to it and not do too much hero ball, I think he can put us in position to win this game. The reason I brought up the 30 points earlier is because I don't see the defense holding the Chiefs to under that. So even we would really have to dominate the time of possession. And that was a great point y'all made because the Commanders would have to dominate the time of possession, keep Pat Mahomes off the field. That's how they're going to have to win this one.
Yeah, I want to ask you. I'm gonna ask both of y'all this. So, because I'm gonna start with you, Bryce, because you said an interesting thing. Like Jayden wasn't getting 30-yard runs. So I'm like under the assumption that I don't think Jayden's 110% healthy, even with that knee. And I think that's the reason why he hasn't gotten those big runs. Because I feel like he's getting walked when he's going sideline, and people are kind of like running with him. And last year they weren't running with him. So I want to get your opinion first, Bryce. Do you feel like the reason why Jay's not getting those long runs, maybe he's not 110%?
That's a good question. Like, I think, and I told this to my brother. We talk about the games all the time. Jayden has kind of looked a little slow all season to me. I mean, this started from game one, if I'm being honest. I don't think
go ahead.
I think Jayden. I think there's all different types of speed. As former athletes, all of us, right? We know speed when we see it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different types of speed, and Jayden's got the sneaky speed. Yes. Right, to where it's like he can kind of lull you to sleep, and then out of nowhere he's got a little gear he can tap into. So I do agree with you though. He's not 110% healthy. The knee is the weighing on him, right? And it happened early, Packer game, right? I mean, so it's not. It's he's basically been playing like that since the Packer game. So I would agree there. Definitely not 110% healthy at all.
Yeah. What about you, Rome? Have you seen it, or am I imagining?
No, I mean, we're definitely not imagining it. Bryce does have a good point. It does feel like Jayden was a step slower. I know they said he put on a little weight and muscle or whatever, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Once he put on the brace, I definitely felt like his side-to-side agility hasn't been as good. The very first game with it, the first time he went down, I gave the credit to the tackle to the knee brace. Because even he can say it's not affecting him, but it's definitely something you got to get used to wearing, even if it is just for precautionary reasons. It doesn't seem the same with Jayden running the football this season at all. But I've been one to say that he needs to get away from that as much as possible.
I agree with you. I think it's time to kind of like go take it to the next step in terms of the offense. Doesn't have to be like so run heavy at times. With Jayden, I mean, with Jayden doesn't have to be as run heavy. But so Marcus Mariota is actually undefeated against the Kansas City Chiefs. None of y'all care about that, right? Like you don't care about that.
I do care about that. I was very much aware of that stat. That's part of the reason when you ask the confidence level of Marcus Mariota, like I don't think Marcus Mariota is going to be the reason the Commanders lose this game.
Yeah, I don't think
right.
So either.
Like, so I understand y'all's Bryce specifically. I understand your lack of confidence in him as far as like, can he win us the game? But I really don't think he's going to be the reason that we lose the game if that's how it goes.
I mean, we already know the reason they lose the game, what the real reason is. Like, we're not going to really do that. We know the real reason, though, if they lose this game. It's the consistent reason. See, the reason it's always going to be. It's offense and defense. It's offense and defense. There's one side, there's one individual. But I'm going to speaking on that part, right? Obviously, like, you know, Joe Witt came out earlier and talked about how they miss Will Harris. That's probably some of the reasons, you know, in the back end. That whatever. It sounds good. I feel like folks have a lot of excuses in life. But Will Harris was good though. Let me give him his flowers. He was good when he was out there for us. I thought he was good in coverage. He's better than what I thought he would be. But your faith right now with coordinator, you know, Joe Witt, do you feel like, and I want to get your opinion on this because I've had this discussion with multiple people. Do you feel like it's scheme and it's more scheme than personnel, or is it personnel and scheme or scheme? I'm gonna start with you, Ron.
Man, so that's the thing. Like they kind of told us that they got the personnel for the scheme. Like this year going into it, Joe Witt and everybody were kind of saying that they had the people they wanted to execute the scheme, and it has not gone very well. I do look at the NFL plus the NFL Pro. I'm not gonna act like I'm an aficionado. I'm not, an NFL level head coach. But from when I watch it, it does not feel like specifically the safety position fits what Joe Witt wants to do at all. Like Quan Martin has struggled all season. I'm pretty sure they benched him in this last game. Darnell Savage has been on the team for less time than these other safeties, and he's looking like the best one. And to me, that's a red flag because it shouldn't be that way. So they said they got the personnel for the scheme. It does not look that way. So to me, you got to change up the scheme a little bit. The linebackers aren't very good in coverage. You keep putting them both in man coverage situations. It's a head scratcher. Again, I don't want to. People are already, the internet's already going crazy on Joe Witt. Me and Bryce have talked about it. I know Bryce is not a Joe Witt guy right now, so I know he's gonna have something to say. So I'm not gonna go too crazy on Joe Witt, but I do feel like something's got to change. Whether that's DQ calling plays, more personnel changes, something. But something's got to give with the way this defense is going.
Hey Bryce, go ahead, man. Like I actually want to hear your thoughts on Joe Witt. Because if you're like me, we could be best friends right now. Go ahead. Listen, bro.
I want to like Joe Witt, bro. I really do. You know, I want to like the guy. I want him to succeed. But we got to be honest. He's been our defensive coordinator for 27 games now, right? Mm-hmm. And the only thing I could point to as his identity is predictability. That's the only thing I can say, right? What identity would you say is Joe Witt's? I mean, what characterizes a Joe Witt defense? We 27 games in, bro. As fans, especially as fans that watch as closely as we do to analyze the game, we should be able to say this is what Joe Witt's defense is about. But we can't. The only thing we can say is, well, we know if it's third and short, he's gonna run man. That's about all we can say. And it's the most predictable thing of all time, bro. I mean, the Packers game starting with the Packers, that was atrocious, right? Every single short man, third and short, second and short, you knew man was coming, and all they was gonna do was run a motion and get your guys off balance. Mm-hmm. And then every single team since then has literally repeated the same formula.
Exactly.
I mean, Drake London ate us up, bro, on the most predictable outs of all time. Mm-hmm. Like, you knew the out was coming. Why are you not prepared for this? Why are you not switching up your scheme just a little bit? My problem with Joe Witt is he seems like he's stubborn, bro. Mm-hmm. He seems like he's stubborn. He seems like this is what we do, and that is what it is. And it's like, where are the adjustments, bro? It always feels like to me we come out doing the same thing in the second half that we did in the first half on defense.
Yep.
And then, I did listen to Wole. I listened to Joe Witt's press conference today as well, right? And he mentioned that we're, third in blitzing in the league right now. We blitzing at the third most rate.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro. Because we definitely not getting to the quarterback on those blitzes. In fact, our blitzes just seem like it just opens up the back end because no one's getting there in time. And to me, that's a scheme thing. We're not devising smart enough blitzes. For as many times as we blitz, it's always coming from the linebacker position. How often are we seeing the one time we saw Sanders still blitz, he got there.
Yeah.
Like the one time I can remember. But like, how often are we seeing these blitzes coming from the slot? Unpredictability, right? It's just like it's too predictable of a defense. And I think because of that, we're gonna continue to get ate up. And now we're talking about dumbing the defense down, right?
Yeah.
That's my other problem with Joe Witt is he's starting to feel like a finger pointer, right? You know, if you watch the press conferences, Joe Witt's blaming the guys every single.
Facts.
He's never saying that this is on me. I'm the defensive coordinator. He started. I ain't gonna lie. Early in the season, he was doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
And last year, early, he did it a little bit. But now he's back to doing this thing where he's like, nah, we calling the right calls. The guys are not doing it. So now we got to dumb it down so they can be smarter, so they can play faster. Like, nah, bro. If you the coordinator, you got to die on the sword, bro. You got to be the one to say, I'm not doing a good enough job putting these guys in position. And I hate to go this far with it, but this is going to be my ultimate judgment on Dan Quinn, bro. Dan Quinn, like, what are you seeing this? Are you seeing what's happening, how this is playing out? This has been a criticism of Dan Quinn throughout his time in Atlanta as he kind of sticks with guys a little too long, even when they're failing. Joe Witt's failing right now. Something's got to change. They better show me something this coming Monday.
Burgundy and Gold for Life says, how can you overlook how many times we have dropped our interceptions? Bryce ain't lying though. The adjustments, the adjustments, what is the game plans? We are 5th in the league in sacks.
Bro, that's a good point. But I just got to say this. We 5th in the league in sacks, but look at the concentration of those sacks, right? Yeah. We beaten up on bums. Like, we beat up on the Raiders. We got a ton of sacks there.
The Chargers had a messed up line.
Their line was depleted. We got a ton of sacks there. So it's like, I agree. Like, if Joe Witt could point to that and be like, hey, we 5th in the league in sacks. But then I would say, like, yeah, but every time you play a decent squad,
that's my point.
Tore up.
There was no pressure on Jordan Love, bro. Jordan Love had way too much time to throw.
Yes. That was an atrocious. Dak
Prescott had damn near.
Hey, hold on, hey, Mike. I ain't gonna answer your question about Luke McCaffrey. We ain't talking about Luke McCaffrey right now, so don't even worry about it. Jeez, like we talking defense. You want me to ask you a question about Luke McCaffrey? Get out of here. All right, so I do want to harp on, like, go back to what you said about like blitzing and this, that, and the other. Like, I think that's the thing. I don't care about where you rank in blitzing. It's all about setting up a blitz and what kind of blitz you have. Like, to be real with you, I don't care about your percent. Like, that's like you're trying to find, you're reaching. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, he's reaching to, like, for justification, right? To be like, okay, I'm not doing a bad job. I'm doing a decent job. And Bryce, to your point, it's crazy because reporters will come in and tell me, like, Joe Witt, he takes fault for everything. But every time I listen to a press conference, and maybe they're doing that, maybe he's doing that one-on-one with them, right? And that's fine. But anytime I listen to a presser of late, it seems like it's always something else. It's, we don't got Will Harris, so we're struggling on the back end. That's why we're struggling. We don't have him. Or we're calling the right plays. Everybody got to do their job. Everybody can't try to play hero ball or something like that. It's always something like that. It's never like, I got to do better. Like, I got to do right. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, right, you are the defensive coordinator. It lies with you. Like, it is what it is. If your guys ain't getting it, you gotta, like, devise something to try to make it better. I'm not gonna say it's gonna make you an all-world defense, but you got to do something to improve what's going on. Because if you're doing the same thing and you're getting the same result, we know that's a definition of insanity. So, like, I don't want to hear, like, we're doing, like, everything, this is working, people in the right play. Dude, the same thing is happening. I always, like I said, I don't like the whole, and to your part, Rome, you said this earlier. I don't like the whole it's personnel argument, period, because this is your personnel. This is what you told us that you wanted. You got rid of everybody. And this is what you have. This is your personnel. This is the personnel you said that's going to fit your style of defense. You got Ken Law. You brought in Von Miller. You brought in some of these other individuals. You brought in Will Harris. He got hurt, but you brought in all these other individuals. But you haven't been productive. The times you had, and to you guys' point, the time you were productive on defense, to be real with you, you went against Sierra's husband, You went against the Vegas. You went against Vegas. Geno struggling. Like this is when your defense was playing good ball. You went against the Chargers, which had no offensive line, so you can get pressure easily because all their linemen were pretty much out. They're playing walk-on dudes on their own line at tackle. Yeah. So when did your defense ever look dominant for real? Like look the part. You look good
to Bryce's point, man. It's 27 games in, and what is the Joe Witt identity? I'm glad you brought that up, Bryce, because to me, his identity, what he tries to do is be like the chaotic type of defense, right? The defense where you don't really know what they're gonna do. We got this guy doing this, a safety is gonna cover here. Right, you're supposed to confuse the offense, but nobody's confused, right? You're trying to confuse people and you're predictable. So that's already a red flag right there. But then when I watch the tape, he does shit like have Jacob Martin cover the flat in Atlanta. Like, why is Jacob Martin in coverage? Why is Bobby Wagner at the age that he's at? He's my age, right? I'm in my mid-30s. Mm-hmm. Why is he covering a 20-something-year-old and Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the league, coming out the backfield? To me, that's egregious. When I watch some of the tape, the things that I notice, I know Joe Witt has to notice. So I haven't listened to any of the press conferences recently, but if he's up there saying Bobby Wagner is supposed to be able to go one-on-one with Bijan Robinson, then Joe got to go because he don't know what the hell he's talking about, bro. It ain't no way the scheme that he's running with the personnel that he's running is not being executed by the players properly. Like people can point to Marshawn Lattimore, right? And they can say, oh, well, he's not, as advertised. He's not shutting down the big time receivers. And that's fair. But we've seen him not do that for so long now that why are we still leaving him in that situation in one-on-ones constantly? Like it's starting to not make sense. And to Bryce's other point, you got to start to question Dan Quinn at some point, right? It's 27 games in for Joe Witt, and it's looked abysmal. I want to say last time I was on here, we were around the draft. I talked about the NFC Championship and the 55 points. Like the defense has been the issue. Wole, you brought it up. We hit it last year. It wasn't even that Jayden made them better. He just hit them. Jayden said, "I'm gonna stay on the field." like y'all stay over there. Yeah. Like that was really all that was going on because the defense hasn't been good, really, since Dan Quinn took over.
No, and that's what that's the thing. When you look at this defense, it just hasn't really wowed you at all. They had more obviously some guys have been having some regression, but I'm gonna start with even the Lattimore thing, right? This is what intrigues me about Marshawn. Because I'm like you, I think Lattimore is an easy target, and he hasn't been great, right? I'm not gonna let's be like he's been good, but if anybody's, and this is why I know this defense is confusing to me about putting guys in positions to fail. Because if you watch Marshawn when Marshawn was Marshawn, when he was a top corner in this league, he played a particular style as a cornerback. He wasn't playing off coverage. That's not his style for real. He's bump and run in you, like physicality. That's Marshawn. That's if you want to get the real if you want to, and I'm not saying he's at the same level in terms of health or whatever, but he's had success one way. If you're not gonna have him playing that way because you feel like he's not good enough anymore to do it, then you don't have Marshawn, and he should be on the bench. If you don't try it often, if you don't try it or do it consistently, then you're not going to get the best out of Marshawn. Marshawn has always been that way. When Marshawn was successful, he's been a bump and run in your face, press coverage corner. That's Marshawn Lattimore, excuse me. That's Marshawn Lattimore, period. So if you're not going to get that level of play from him, if he's not good enough to do that anymore, then you're going to get this. So if you're not going to do that, then you're going to get this level of Marshawn, and he shouldn't be on the outside, period, then. You know what I mean? And I'm not one to bash Marshawn Lattimore like everybody else is. Because I do feel like in the Cowboys game, he had good coverage, perfect pass one. I thought the PI one, the first PI, was kind of interesting to me because I thought he slightly looked back and Pickens pushed off. I have my thought, that was my belief in it. But all in all, it hasn't been successful here anyway right now. If I got to be blatantly honest with it. But also at the same time, you're asking for a dude that played one style and played at a high level to play another style, and arguably he's got a diminished skill set than what he used to be. He's going to fail then.
Yeah, and one thing I would say to Commanders fans, because I'm not trying to be a Marshawn Lattimore apologist or nothing like that, because he hasn't he's here to shut down the Pickens of the world, to have better performances than he did against those top-level receivers. He hasn't done that. But my question to Commanders fans would be, how many corners, especially this season, have had those games against those kind of guys? Like we just saw what Jamar Chase did. Like if we're being honest, there's not many corners in the NFL that are stopping a top-level receiver, period. So with Marshawn, although he's not what he was, there's not too many guys that I would say are much, much better.
No, I totally agree. So we're back to this game, though. I mentioned Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel being back. How much excitement and faith do you have now with those two dudes coming back? Bryce, I'm gonna start with you.
Man, I wish they could have pushed for last game. I mean, that would have been nice. Terry talking about he had full strength. Well, we could have used you at 95% last week. But the thing I'll say about it is it does give me more faith, right? Anytime you got a guy like Terry McLaurin that can take the top off, that's gonna open things up underneath. Not that Marcus Mariota likes using Zach Ertz or other underneath options, but hypothetically that should open things up underneath. And then whenever you have Deebo out there, defenses have to account for the multitude of things he brings to a game, right? So, those guys are weapons for sure. So it gives me a little more faith. I do think that Marcus Mariota and Terry McLaurin have a good connection, though.
They do.
I think they have a really good connection. So I think that should help us. Will it be enough to win? I'm not sure, but definitely gives me more faith than without him. I don't want to see Marcus Mariota having to rely on Luke McCaffrey and Jayden Lane.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer this question. Yet Lattimore doesn't turn around. That's an interception. Blame Joe Witter. Blame. I mean,
Joe can be blamed for a lot of stuff, man. Yeah. Marshawn Lattimore's regressed, but Frankie Louvu was a second-team All-Pro this year.
Bruh, go ahead. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Why is Bobby in the blitzing? I mean, but why y'all? Hey man, Bobby can.
The Bobby Wagner hate from the fan base is honestly crazy.
It's wild to me.
Bobby's doing everything he can, and if I'm being honest, Joe Witt has put Bobby in some wild positions.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
Like Bobby Wagner trying to cover Bijan Robinson. Like my 11-year-old knows not to do that, bro. Like you see that on Madden, you checking out the play.
Yeah, but the problem with Bobby is Bobby's good plays. They kind of look routine.
That's the problem. Yes,
Bobby's bad plays stick out like a sore thumb.
That's the problem. No, that's real. Because you know what? This is my problem, man. Like people are so spoiled, right? They're spoiled, man. It's because Bobby makes the play that needs to be like the easy play. He makes the routine play look really easy.
Fact.
And for a while, we had middle linebackers who weren't making the routine play look easy. Now that we got a guy that does that, it's like, okay, let's find something else. He can't cover it. All right, cool.
I ain't mad at Bobby.
I'm with Rome. I feel like what folks complain about is something I have an issue with. I feel like Witt has put him in a position to fail. So, but yeah, man, Rome actually same thing. Terry and Deebo, man. How does that did that excite you when you saw full practice back to back?
Yeah. And to Bryce's point, man, like the fact that they went full practice back to back, because I paid close attention to the practice report. I think Terry practiced once or twice since the injury. Yeah. Now all of a sudden he's full practice. I'm like, damn, bro, we couldn't have got a couple limited practices last week, and you know what I'm saying, had some packages for him, something. But like he said in an interview today, I believe, his game is predicated off stopping, starting, acceleration. So if he's not all the way back, then he's not really helpful to the team. So I can totally understand that too. Terry's got to be he's got to be Terry, right? You got to be scary Terry. Got to be able to take the top off the defense. Otherwise, you're not really helping at all. So hopefully he's 100% back. And I'm very much excited. I mean, Terry and Deebo versus who was it? Chris Moore, Robbie Chosen. We had some
Robbie Anderson. His mama called him Robbie Anderson. I ain't calling no Robbie Chosen. Whatever.
no disrespect to NFL
Chosen.
players, man. But
Chosen. You ain't the chosen one. Stop that crap.
them dudes is very mid-level players.
Nah, you're right. Yeah, to Santiago, I don't want to see Marcus throwing more. I mean, I'll be frank. I ain't gonna lie, Chris Moore. I mean, I was hating on him too, but he had some big plays. You know what I'm saying? Jayden kind of liked him. Jayden was going to him. You know what I'm saying? Jayden was going to him. So over.
I mean, you had to go to somebody, bro.
I mean, you know what? He had Luke McCaffrey out there. He was going to Chris Moore more than he was going to Luke McCaffrey. See, now look, Mike. Now I'm gonna read your Luke McCaffrey question. See how I did that, jerk. Rome said, Rome and Bryce, how do you guys feel about Luke and how he's improving this season? I'm gonna start with you, Bryce.
Man, like shout out to Luke, bro, because he caught a lot of flack in the offseason.
I know.
Not just you though. It was a lot of people in the fan base going on Luke, and Luke found a role, bro, and you gotta respect that. He carved out a role when it comes to that kick return.
Mm-hmm.
Right at first, to me, he wasn't all that good at the kick return, but he figured it out, and I respect that. And I think he's coming along on the offensive side. Let's not forget, him and Marcus Mariota also showed a pretty good connection, right?
Yeah.
So I think that he might excel with Marcus Mariota. They might have something there. I like what Luke's becoming. I like that he's carved out a role. I like that he's willing to put his head in there on kickoffs too. Like your man is fearless. I know y'all seen him try to jump over the whole kick return, the whole kickoff. That was insane. I need my man to chill with that. Like he was trying to get a 2 yards added on to a 20-yard game on the kick return. Like, bro, chill, bro. We don't need that bad. But I like Luke McCaffrey and the heart that he's shown, and I feel like heart and effort is contagious for sure, bro. That stuff is contagious, and Luke's shown that to me.
Yeah, that jump, that him trying to leap over somebody was like, bruh. We're already down like 80 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like this 2-yard leap over somebody ain't gonna make your life better, bro. What are you doing?
Hey, I felt like he was aura farming right there. Bro.
Yeah, he really was. He really was.
Aura farming.
Yeah, definitely. Rome, you're like, about Luke McCaffrey.
Nah, yeah, man. Much respect to Luke McCaffrey. Me and Bryce were pretty critical of Luke over the summer. I myself said that this was the season Luke had to show up, right? And that's what he's doing. As far as the kick return, man, I would love to know if he talked to Brian Mitchell or worked with somebody over the offseason. Because Bryce, that's a great point. He's vastly improved on kick return. And I think that alone is enough for him to stick around. But what we've seen from an offense, I think if he can keep clicking there, because that was my concern. I was like, Jalen Lane can come in and kind of give me what I've already seen from Luke McCaffrey, right, as a rookie. But so far, maybe the competition, maybe that's, competition breeds a lot of things. So maybe having another guy like Jalen Lane around kind of gave Luke McCaffrey that kick in the butt to really find a spot on offense and on special teams. But I think he's been much improved, especially at kick return. And I would love to know, if he was working with somebody on that, because I think he's made leaps and bounds on that.
Yeah, he definitely has. I mean, he was decent with it last year. I'll give him credit. He made some splash plays in terms of he runs straight downhill, so it works for him, especially in the new kickoff rules. It works for him. It does. He's really good at it, though. Real talk. I'm not going to like fry Luke McCaffrey. He's good at it.
He's cooking this year at kick return. Bro.
Yeah, he is.
He's probably one of the better kick returners in the league.
Facts. He is. Definitely is. Danny has a question for y'all. He says, would you like to see more Jordan McGee snaps? Snap counts increase at least 40 snaps. I'm gonna start with you, Rome.
Yeah, actually, me and Bryce, we're talking about this a little while ago, man. I need Jordan McGee to have more snaps. To be honest, both of you guys were pretty high on McGee in the offseason, and I want to see him get a bigger role in this defense. That kind of goes back to the whole Joe Witt thing, man. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, Bryce.
Nah, it's a fact, bro. I mean, I think last game Jordan McGee played 21 snaps.
It's trash, man. He's more than that.
I mean, right, and in 21 snaps, he ended with like four tackles.
Yeah, he's a.
I mean, that's a good little tackle rate right there.
Yeah.
And earlier I mentioned like Luvu's fall off this season. I don't think that's Luvu's fault. I think that's the position they put Luvu in.
Mm-hmm.
So with Dorrance Armstrong going down, I need to see Luvu rushing way more and Jordan McGee into Luvu's linebacker spot. They try to turn Luvu into some sort of traditional linebacker. That's just not what he does. He's a game wrecker, bro.
Yeah.
Let him go out there and crash out. You know what I'm saying? Let's see some more Luvu rushes, and let's see Jordan McGee taking over that linebacker spot next to Bobby and really getting his feet wet there. That makes the most sense to me, rather than trying to, get somebody off the street to plug into that DN role, right? I mean, we got Luvu. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that because my thing with Luvu, I've said this before. You don't treat Luvu like he Micah Parsons because he's not, but treat him like blitz him more and blitz him in different areas. Like make him a game record though, like almost like how like Troy Polamalu, like you moved him around, like you just moved him around, rushing the quarterback. Like make that a thing. Like move, like obviously Troy Polamalu also played coverage. That's different. I'm just saying how the Steelers used to move him around even when they blitzed him. Do the same thing with Luvu. Move him around and blitz him because I feel like because hands in the dirt, I don't look at him as a hands in the dirt type of dude. But I do look at him as a great blitzer. Like you got to utilize him to his strength. You don't want him in coverage. Like move him around to get the quarterback out of that linebacker position. That's how I would use Luvu. I wouldn't want him on hands in the dirt rushing the passer because his pass rushing moves aren't like, depending on who he's going up against, right? It always depends on who the tackle is. But utilize him in the blitz game like thoroughly. He's a really good blitzer, man. But you need to let him go out there and crash out, use his anticipation. Like that's what you need to utilize him in. And have, like to your point, Bryce, utilize Jordan McGee as that type of like linebacker, legit linebacker.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I'm totally with that. We got Danny has a question for y'all again. He says, which second round pick has been most disappointing, Newton or Sennett? Hey, go ahead, Bryce.
That's I love that question because admittedly, these are two guys that I was high on both coming in. I love Johnny Newton coming out of Illinois because the explosiveness also off the line was impressive. He had that setback when he came in as a rookie, right? Where he had an injury coming in. I think it was like a foot injury, and it really took him time to get back on the field. I'm really going to be interested to see what they do with him over these next few games. Because if Luvu does become that pass rusher, you got to have somebody clogging up that end, you know what I'm saying, and solidifying that edge. It wouldn't shock me if they go to more of a 3-4 look with Johnny Newton on that DN, right? And really holding that edge for us. But if I had to go who's more disappointing, I got to go Sennett because Sennett was built, bro. I never forget how hyped my man Adam Peters was when he drafted Sennett, bro. And he looked at Josh Harris and was like, told Josh Harris straight up, this guy is just like Kittle. That's what he said, bro. Word for word, he was like, he's just like the Kittle guy I had in San Francisco. He's just like him. And he's been the total opposite of that. Now, I got to give Sennett credit. The same way I gave Luka McCaffrey credit for carving out a role. I respect players that can carve out a role. And with John Bates gone for the last few games, I know Bates was back last game. But the few games before that, Bates had been gone. And Sennett really picked it up on the blocking side.
Facts.
I respect that. Facts. But as far as a pass catcher, does he have over 5 catches in his career? I don't even think he's got 5 catches yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's a disappointment that he hasn't been able to carve out a role as a pass catcher, especially when we look at AARP Zach Ertz out there leading the tight end corps. So
stop hating on my man Zach Ertz, man. Hey, Rome.
But that yak is not existent.
Look, bro, look. Just catch the ball. That's where we at right now. That's where we at right now. All right.
Yeah, Ertz is only good for a couple moments, man. He got moments when he's nice, but then he definitely has his moments where he's looking a little old too. I definitely got to go. Newton is the more disappointing one. Both of these are Ron Rivera draft picks, right?
Sennett is
Sennett is
both are no, both are
they both
Peters guys. They're both Peters guys.
Well, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm a little shocked that Newton hasn't developed more, gotten a few more opportunities. I feel like he's not getting really after the Kinlaw signing. His role kind of diminished. But to Bryce's point, Ben Sennett is carved out a super nice role on offense. With base out, I was really impressed by his blocking, and I did think he was going to have a bigger role, especially pass catching. That's been completely non-existent. But yeah, I mean, as far as a blocker though, Ben Sennett really has impressed me this season. Hopefully that leads to more opportunities because Ertz hasn't provided that.
Yeah, for me, I don't want to put it on. I mean, it's a tough one. I don't want to put it on Jerzon because I think Jerzon hasn't really got a fair shake because of the Kinlaw signing, and he doesn't get enough reps to him. For me, to be honest with you, to do what he can do. I actually prefer Jerzon to be more on passing downs. I think they need to take out Kinlaw and put Jerzon in passing downs. I think Jerzon is a very talented dude. Like he's not just another guy. He is very talented. I just don't feel like we're utilizing him the best way we need to utilize him. You know what I mean? I think he should be playing on passing downs. Kinlaw should be playing on third, like, first and second downs, obviously. But when you need to get to the quarterback, I prefer to have Drazan out there. Give him the opportunity because he's a quick twitch type of interior dude. And if you do go 3-4, I did like that idea too. You go 3-4, I think he can excel. He can excel there too. I think Drazan, but Ben Sinnott, to your point, Ben Sinnott, to your point, I do like I like what he's done recently because I was down on him because I liked him in Kansas State. I liked him in the draft. I liked him in Kansas State. I've seen enough of him. But to me, he was more of he's a physical dude. He did kind of remind me of Chris Cooley a little bit, so I won't even lie. Like I did get them Chris Cooley vibes when I watched him in Kansas State, but it hasn't panned out. But I do like that he hasn't been down on himself to like say, all right, I'm not catching the ball. Well, I'll be a good run blocker. He's been amazing at run blocking. Not good, amazing at run blocking because he's been leading the way for some of these, leading the way on some of these long runs that we've seen from Bill and et cetera. So he deserves a lot of credit from it. He deserves a lot of credit for that. So it's hard for me to say which one is like the most disappointing because I do feel like I guess it would by default it would be Drazan because he hasn't gotten the opportunity to do what he needs to do. So it would be Drazan for me. So I said, listen to y'all discuss the disappointment. It sounds like a development issue to me. Do you agree?
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. I mean, especially when we look up and see Benjamin St. Juice giving good reps, right?
Or Forbes. Yeah, going for it.
We see Emmanuel Forbes giving good reps, right? And then it's like we get players that was formerly good and they get here like a Marshawn Lattimore. Now they're not doing nothing. Like you got to start questioning the coaching at some point, bro, and the ability to put players in a good position. I couldn't agree with that more, man. And even like, the crazy thing is, right, a lot of the time when these players come straight out of college, bro, they still rely on that college coaching. You know what I'm saying? They still got that college aura that they still one of the best players. You know what I'm saying? So look at how Mikey Sanders still came out last season. Yeah. Like he was a dog, bro.
Yeah.
The second year in the system, how you regressing? You feel me? Like, how you regressing in your second year in the same system? And you got to start. You got to start asking these questions, man. Now, St. Jude did have the bad penalty. Also, bro, I knew somebody was gonna get me on that, but he also played some good snaps last night too. He had some moments. In fact, he almost had a pick last night.
His grade, if you look at his wild. I mean, I think St. Jude is trash, but I ain't gonna lie to you. His grade, though, like to your point, though, no, it's real talk. This is real talk. His grade is way better than it's ever been here in a long. Like,
he's definitely been better in LA, bro.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's like fewer snaps or what it is, but he's been better in LA.
And to like Bryce's point about Emmanuel Forbes, a guy that everybody thought was like the worst corner in the world, is like maybe a cornerback one for them in LA. Like he's a starter. He's one or whatever, but he is a starter in LA. And with us, we made it seem like he was the worst cornerback in the world. He's a starting on a defense that's better than our defense.
Yeah,
that makes any sense to any
these questions, man. Like, why are these guys going with us? I don't know.
To your point, yeah. So going back to this game, we talked about key guys being back. We talked about not having one of our dogs out there and Jayden Daniels. What are your keys for Commanders' victory? And I'm gonna start with you, Bryce.
Keys for Commanders' victory, man. We all spoke about it earlier, right? Time of possession is number one. You got to hold on to that ball. You got to limit the amount of drives that Pat Mahomes gets. Number two, I would say, is you got to create some form of takeaway. We have not created any takeaways all season, man. I think we're probably the second worst team in the league. And I think the only worst team is the Jets, and they've got one victory, right? So you've got to find a way to get a takeaway. If you are losing the takeaway battle in this game, that's an automatic loss to me, right? You can't afford to lose a takeaway battle against a team like the Chiefs.
Facts.
And third, I would say rely on that run game, bro. I need to see Marcus Mariota zone read until they hate it. You know, so I need to see that. Marcus Mariota needs to have over 50 yards rushing for us to win this game.
Okay.
We have to get back to that, 200-yard rushing a game that we was doing early in the season. That was with Marcus Mariota, to y'all's earlier point. So, that's what I got to see. I think it's a tough task, right? So these keys to the game, I say them reluctantly because we've got to argue about it. but those are my keys, man.
I see it reluctantly.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't want to act like we do these 3 things I'm listing.
And yeah, we win, right? I feel you.
We can very well do all 3 of them things. We go. You know what I'm saying? So,
nah, I mean that's facts though, because my 3 keys are very similar, bro. And time of possession, I think we got to get pressure on Pat Mahomes. It's easier said than done, right? Like, and the run game, I got Bill got to go crazy, and Marcus Mariota got to be involved in it as well. The thing is, though, like, it's Pat Mahomes, bro. I think he's the GOAT. Like, I don't see us. I don't see us. Like Bryce said, man, we could do all those things, and it could be a close game, and Pat Mahomes could have 5 seconds left, and something gonna happen, bro.
Yeah. I would say, all right, for me, I'm gonna have this comment. I'm gonna read this comment before because we're about to close out shortly. Mike said, hope Mahomes catch a cold this weekend and more. That's like a key. My man Todd said keys, get 1 or 2 turnovers. I believe our offense is the most balanced offense the Chiefs has faced, and we are healthy except at quarterback, but make their defense work. They're low key. Kansas City defense is good though. Like I think a lot of people look at Pat Mahomes and think their defense isn't good. They got Chris Jones out there. Chris Jones is a consistent game wrecker. But yeah, it goes to everything. Like run the football and do the running back by committee thing. All right, like don't feel like you have to lean on one dude. Like do the running back by committee. It works. It works for us. Like there's a reason why last year it worked for us last year with Eckler, B-Rob. People may not like B-Rob, but it worked. Eckler, B-Rob, and McNichols. That worked for Washington last year. Well, here you got 3 running backs, and this coaching staff always states that they stated this in the offseason. They love their running back room. Like they were infatuated with their running back room. Okay, you know what? You told us that. And truth be told, when they all get an opportunity, they all produce. So you have been factually right about that. McNichols had a big play against the Cowboys. We saw he had that big run, like that tough run to get him that touchdown. You saw anytime C-Rod gets in the game, he makes a decent run. Like we know what Bill can do. Utilize all of them. Like sometimes in football, you gotta play the boxing game. You gotta be a counter puncher. You gotta get them worried. You gotta catch them off guard. They're ready for Bill. All right, counter that. Give him C-Rod. All right, they're ready for C-Rod. Counter that. Give him McNichols. You know what I'm saying? Like use them all. Get them to a point where they're wobbly. You know what I'm saying? That defense. Because again, that Kansas City Chiefs defense is an aggressive defense. They will blitz. Spags will blitz. All right. That is coming. He will blitz. So your screen gotta be lit, your running game gotta be lit. And then like to everybody's point here, like, yeah, that the read option it's gotta be a play that you utilize. And then you're getting 2 weapons back, you're getting Terry and Deebo back. And all that to me encompasses on the offensive side of the football is if you can do all of that, you can win the time of possession. If you can keep 15 off the field as much as possible, 15 going to try to force it to get all that back quick. So he's going to give you an opportunity to get a turnover. Because 15 he's not patient. Like he's going to want it all in one play. He is that type of quarterback. So if you can win the time of possession game, keep him on the sideline pacing, I think you got a good opportunity to upset the Chiefs on Monday night. But if you go out there thinking that you got 15 on your team, then you're going to get blown out. You're going to get beat by like 30. So just realize what you have and then work around that. Burgundy, not go for life, says Bill is going to go crazy. For goodness sake, Trevor Lawrence beat these bums. This defense is mid. They actually helped Philly. They helped Philly down. I mean, whatever that takes. They've had good showings on defense. So I'm not going to act like, yeah, Jacksonville, it is what it is. They've had good showings. All right, we about to. But all right, give me your predictions. Who I'm gonna start. I know I kind of can see where Bryce is going, so I'm gonna start with you, Rome. Give me your prediction on the game.
I'll be honest, man. I would love the Commanders win. The Commanders get the dub, I'll go crazy. But I feel like we just don't play the Chiefs well in general, even before the Mahomes era. Yeah. So I think we take an L here, fall to 3-5. And we have to reconvene then. I got the Chiefs winning this one 38-30.
38-30. Okay. 38-30 Chiefs. Okay. Bryce, your score, buddy.
I think we ended early, but I think they pull away late. I'm gonna say 31-17 Chiefs.
Yeah, some of y'all reckless. 48-17. Y'all really are reckless. You terrible fans, bro. Look at you. 48-17, trash. All right, so I'm picking because I'm doing like voodoo type stuff. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I'm doing the Chiefs 20-30 because I've been picking the Commanders and they now starting not to work. Last year I picked the Commanders every time. I picked against the Commanders. They won most of those games. So I'm going back. I'm going back to last year. This year has not been good for me in terms of picking the Commanders. I'm not doing that no more. So I'm picking the Chiefs 20-30. I'm gonna be the Chiefs jinx. 20-30. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm going with. Hey, before we close the show out, though, I want y'all to tell folks about your pod and how they can catch y'all on social media.
Yeah, for sure. Well, y'all see our tags there. I'm at Bryce XXVII. You can also follow our weekly show at Good Ass Sports. We've got a show that comes out every Tuesday night. We break down everything from NFL, NBA, and of course some culture topics. Me and Rome also got the Hail to the Culture podcast, which we do about on a weekly basis. We breaking down everything Commanders.
Dope. And you know what? I appreciate you guys. Always dope having you guys on. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys know your stuff. You know what I'm saying? I would like to talk to y'all about basketball too, because I love, I'm an NBA player. I'm an NBA fan too. I'm a big NBA fan, actually. My Lakers are trash right now, though. But it's okay, though.
We got to bring you on our weekly show one of these days, man.
All right, cool.
That's when we really jump into the NBA, man.
All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because my Lakers, you know what I'm saying? It's the Luka era. Because LeBron is kind of annoying me, too. So it is what it is. But all right, folks, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up, man. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out. Peace.